Men simply are better, including at being women. It's not me who is saying that, it's the practice of the liberal entertainment. Let's explore. Hello everyone and welcome to the Freedom Alternative. Alright, I first wanted to include this one in the long episode of Periodic Insanity, but it was getting too long, and besides that, it was a bit unfit with the rest of the stories. So, after last year, Glamour magazine gave the Woman of the Year award to Bruce Jenner, the same rag recidivates this year and gives the award to Bono from U2. Well, sort of. Coming from the British Brainwash Corporation, Bono named on Glamour magazine's Women of the Year list. And I gotta read this in its entirety because it's absolutely hilarious. So, quote, Glamour magazine has been criticized for naming U2 frontman Bono on its annual Women of the Year list. The magazine said he was the first man to be included on the list because of his campaigning for women's rights. Bono said he was sure he didn't deserve it, but the battle for gender equality couldn't be won unless men lead it along with women. He is on a list that also includes Gwen Stefani, actress and campaigner Zendaya, and Olympic gymnast Simone Biles. Bono said he was grateful for the honor and said men were largely responsible for the problem, so we have to be involved in the solutions. But the magazine's decision has been heavily criticized on social media. Comedy writer Trayvon Free tweeted, "Does Glamour magazine know giving Bono the Woman of the Year award to trying to undo patriarchy undercuts the entire point of the award?" Another user named Stephanie Pete tweeted, "Bono has been named Glamour's Woman of the Year. To be fair, with only 3.7 billion women, it must be tough to find a worthy one." The magazine's editor-in-chief, Cindy Leave, said they had talked for years about including a man, but had always ruled it out. But she said it started to seem that might be an outdated way of looking at things. There are so many men who really are doing wonderful things for women these days. Some men get it, and Bono is one of these guys, she said. The honor comes after Bono and his One campaign launched a Poverty is Sexist movement last year. Levy said, the idea that a man who could select any cause in the world to call his own, or no cause at all, is choosing to work and not just for one night or at a special event, but consistently, day after day and month after month on behalf of women, is incredibly cool and absolutely deserves applause. The decision has been supported by CNN's Christine Amanpour, who has written an article in praise of her friend Bono for the magazine. She wrote, "I am on Glamour's side. I think Bono is the perfect choice for this first-time honor because now 56, he's been trying to do good for as long as he's been making music. By establishing poverty is sexist, Bono is making it clear that powerful men can and should take on these deep-rooted issues." Also honored as Glamour's Women of the Year are Patrice Cullors, Opal Tometi, and Alicia Garza, the founders of the Black Lives Matter movement, managing director of the International Monetary Fund, Christine Lagarde, anti-ISIS campaigner Nadia Murad, and plus-size model Ashley Graham. They are joined by fashion designer Miuccia Prada and the Stanford sexual assault case survivor whose witness impact statement went viral, who is known only as Emily Doe. I mean, sorry, but laughter is all I got for this article. I mean, the revolutionary left honors the chief of the IMF, yet for some reason they're pissed off at us, basically, and for calling them globalist cucks. Then they honor Ashley Graham as being plus size, when in reality Ashley Graham is a normal person who has actually lost weight and looks quite okay. I mean, sure, a bit fat for a model, but rather normal otherwise. I mean, you wouldn't vomit if you'd pass by her on the street. You definitely don't need more time to walk around her than to jump over her, which is my rule of thumb for an actual fatty. Also, fun fact. Ashley Graham got a tremendous amount of flack from feminists and the wider left because she lost weight. I mean, it really is hilarious to watch. As for the founders of the Black Lives Matter movement, they should be in jail for creating domestic terrorism, but that's a different topic for another day. Now, on to Bono. I gotta say, I do respect the guy for one thing and one thing only. He had the balls to walk against what he himself had advocated in the past and admitted he was wrong and then advocating the correct position. I'm talking here, of course, of his explicit and unapologetic endorsement of capitalism and condemnation of foreign aid. This was 4 years ago when he finally realized that foreign aid actually lifts exactly nobody from poverty, whilst capitalism is the closest thing to a miracle in this world. It's very hard for someone so deep in the far leftist bubble to not only realize this, but then actively promote it and publicly admit to have been wrong in the past. So in that regard, I have a bit of respect for the guy, even though I hate his music and I generally dislike the guy because, well, because he's a cuck. I mean, come on, poverty is sexist? Give me a freaking break. Even in Africa, the same trends that we see in Europe and North America do apply. Female unemployment is lower than male unemployment. I mean, yeah, sure, women work less, so on average they earn less, but they're also a lot less likely to be unemployed and dirt poor. I mean, take the poorest place you can think of and then look at the numbers, and almost always, almost without exception, you will find a lot more piss poor men than piss poor women. Just like you will find a lot more men committing suicide due to economic reasons than women, and this is true literally in all countries on earth and throughout the last 50 years. So yeah, poverty is sexist if you really want to put it this way. It's just that men are the most affected by it and not women. Now, back on the topic. What Glamour magazine did last year and what it does this year is of course insane, but it is also hilarious and a good test on leftist insanity. The fact that liberals and leftists are upset by this shows just how insane and highly inconsistent their beliefs are against what they actually do. I mean, if you genuinely believe that sex doesn't matter and that sexual identity, or gender as they call it, is a social construct, then you shouldn't be upset at Bruce Jenner's award, nor at Bruno's award nomination. If it's all a social construct and believing otherwise is bigotry and an outdated way of looking at things, then everything is all right. Well, except it's not. And at their core, leftists know it. That's why they emotionally react with anger whenever their professed beliefs are put in practice on their own turf in ways that fundamentally undermines their own activism. It's just like with Negroes. Leftist Northerners profess to love Negroes in theory, but they absolutely despise them in practice. That's why they live in segregated, gated communities. Same with the trannies and all the other 50 genders. They profess to agree and support such degeneracy, but in practice they sure as hell do not. You'll notice that all big ideologues of the left have intact, homogeneous families, private school educated children, and generally a very conservative way of living. I mean, think about it. You don't see the son or the daughter of a big-time leftist coming out as tranny or gay or especially not a pan-demi whatever sexual. It's almost always the offspring of a single mother or a degenerate family, almost always on the government dole. So yeah, that's the left for you. Feminism, trannyism, and all other crap for thee, but not for me. Thank you very much. Now, next time a leftist calls you a sexist when you provide evidence that men do a better job at drilling oil from the ground or some other hard job, please show them that you're actually being very moderate, since the progressive position is that men are better, including at being women. No conservative believes that, but leftists do, and they actually practice it. Alright, I'm done here. Talk to you all soon.